Hello everyone, my name is Andrei and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about how to start learning WordPress development in 2021. This will be a quick guide on what you should learn, what you should focus on, and what is basically the roadmap to become not only a WordPress developer, an advanced WordPress developer. And a quick disclaimer, this is not going to be about how to build websites with Elementor using different themes and theme builders. This is going to cover custom WordPress development, custom themes, custom websites, and custom plugins. So without any further ado, let us go into this slideshow. The first thing you need to learn are the basics of web development, and those are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Those skills you will use on a daily basis when you are developing WordPress website. And this is the fundamental for any kind of web development. So if you have learned this, you can do WordPress development, you can do all kinds of front-end development with this. You really need to know at least HTML and CSS really good, because with these two things you are going to build the structure and the design of the website. Also, you should be pretty familiar with JavaScript because you will need it for, let's say, a mobile menu, custom slider, a custom complex tab menu or whatever. So you will need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript on a daily basis when developing WordPress websites. And then you should get familiar with some CSS framework, at least one. You should learn maybe Bootstrap, Tailwind CSS, Zerd Foundation, or other CSS frameworks that you like, because you may want to build WordPress themes and the websites you're building with one of these CSS frameworks. And maybe you should just learn Bootstrap. This is the most popular and a lot of WordPress themes are built on Bootstrap, and you should start learning it. And you should learn Bootstrap if you just want a quick win, so to say. But you can go towards other CSS framework. Maybe you like Foundation, maybe you like Semantic UI better. You just go with what is better for you and learn, because you will be able to use them even outside of WordPress development, and it will really help you with faster development time. Then we should go to the advanced stuff. This has been the front end, and now we should go to the back end, right? And with that, you should learn PHP and MySQL. PHP is a must, because this is the backend, this is the programming language on which WordPress is built. So there's no escape from learning PHP. Of course, there is a minimum amount of PHP that you need to learn. You don't need to learn PHP from the inside out. You don't need to dream PHP when you sleep, but you need to have down the basics of PHP before you start WordPress development. And at this level, MySQL, it's optional. It's not a must, but in time when you are moving to more complex WordPress themes and plugins, then learning MySQL is a must. But at this point, you can just leverage the WordPress way of doing database interaction. And after you have learned at least a bit of PHP and MySQL, then you should learn how to set up a WordPress development environment, because you can't just open a HTML file or a PHP file and start building WordPress websites. You need to have a development environment, and the easiest way to do this is with Local by Flywheel. It's not only the easiest but also the fastest way of building WordPress website. It's quick and easy to set up. It's just maybe like 10 clicks and you have your local WordPress website ready to go and start developing. Of course, after you have set up your WordPress development environment, you will need to learn the WordPress way of doing stuff. I mean, the WordPress specific PHP. You need to learn the functions that you will use on a daily basis when developing WordPress website. You need to learn what the loop is. You need to learn templating. You need to learn template hierarchy, how different page files work in WordPress website. You should learn about hooks, filters, actions. This is more advanced, but this is really useful when you want to make scalable plugins and scalable themes. And also the most important thing to know when it comes to developing WordPress is writing WordPress with a capital W and a capital P. Yeah, WordPress. This is the proper way of writing WordPress. Okay. So next, this is more inclined to team development, and this is learning the root stack. The root stack is basically Sage starter theme for obviously team development, Bedrock for a more modern folder structure for WordPress, for the whole WordPress website, and Trellis, which is basically a virtual machine on your computer that will act as a server for your local development. Of course, if you will be using Trellis, you won't be using local by Flywheel. So I would recommend start first with Sage for team development, or even Bedrock for just the improved WordPress folder structure, and then add one or the other. Sage if you started with Bedrock, or Bedrock if you started with Sage. And you can finally add Trellis for advanced local server infrastructure. The root stack is bringing to the table modern and better WordPress development environment. And this is more advanced than the regular WordPress way of doing things and the regular WordPress way of writing PHP. Because for example, the Sage starter theme is using the Blade templating engine that was built for Laravel. So if you really want to go the modern development route, you should use the root stack. You need to keep in mind that this is not a must. You should use this only if you want to use modern PHP coding practices and have a more secure and advanced WordPress development environment. Next, we should go to plugin development, and I won't cover plugin development in such depth as I did the other topics, but here's the thing. Plugin development is more complex than theme development. You need to learn advanced PHP, advanced MySQL, and of course, advanced WordPress. You will need to learn how to build admin pages. You will need to learn how to build admin sub pages, admin menus, and of course, if you want to build an advanced plugin, if you want just to build a simple plugin, you will need to learn just a bit of how hooks and actions work. And with that all said, we should go to advanced WordPress. What you need to learn in order to call yourself an advanced WordPress developer. And I think there are two things. There may be more. I just put two things on this slideshow that you should learn, and here are them. The first one is Gutenberg blocks. When it first came out, Gutenberg received a lot of hate. I think even to this day it receives a lot of hate, but it's becoming a must. It will soon become necessary both for client work if you build websites for clients, and team development if you want to develop themes for the Envato market or whatever market where you can sell your WordPress themes to. And if you want to learn Gutenberg, you also learning at least a bit of React is a must in this case, because obviously Gutenberg is built on React. And FYI, I mean, for your information, React is in the WordPress core. Yes, officially since like I think 2 years ago, WordPress uses React. Yep, WordPress is going modern. And so if anyone says to you that you are a caveman using Stone Age tools because you develop websites with WordPress, well, tell them just this. React is in the WordPress core. So WordPress is going, of course, at a slower pace to modern web development practices. Okay, the next thing that you should learn for advanced WordPress, and I think this is where WordPress starts to shine in the light of modern development, and you should need to learn how Headless WordPress works. And first of all, let's see what Headless WordPress is. It's basically front end decoupled from the WordPress backend. It's a more modern and safer approach to building websites, web apps, and mobile apps. Basically, the database and the backend functionality is stored in some place, is hosted maybe with another host and under another domain name, and the front end is hosted again in another place, maybe with another host and even another domain name. So what do you need to learn in order to develop headless WordPress websites? Well, first, you need to learn how the WordPress REST API works. Because of course, in order to communicate from the front end to back end that is hosted in two different places, you need to work with an API. And after you wrap your head around the WordPress REST API, you should learn to work with GraphQL and learn how it interacts with the WordPress REST API. GraphQL is the most popular solution with working with API in this kind of way. And then if you want to build static websites, you can learn how to use Gatsby. Gatsby is a static site generator that helps you generate websites from the WordPress backend. It's really powerful. they are making really secure and fast websites. Then maybe you want to go with a more advanced route, and you can then learn React or Vue.js if you want to build dynamic websites based on the WordPress API and backend. And also, if you really want to flex your muscles, if you really want to flex your web development muscles, you can learn mobile app development based on the WordPress API. Yeah, this is really powerful, and this is how far WordPress has came. You can use the WordPress API as a backend for a mobile app. The best use case I can think of right now is building an e-commerce app for obviously an e-commerce website. In WordPress, if you are using WordPress and want to build an e-commerce website, the go-to plugin for that is WooCommerce, and of course WooCommerce has a really strong REST API also. So you can use the WordPress and WooCommerce REST API in order to send all the data to a mobile app with login functionality, cart functionality, and all that you need to do for a proper e-commerce mobile app. WordPress is getting really powerful, and it will only get more powerful as time goes. I hope you got a ton of value from this video and found it helpful. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this one. Have a great day, everybody.